¿Sabías que más de 25.000 personas alrededor del mundo han estudiado en Linguaviva? Acompáñenme. Hola gente de Cómo, Experiencia. El día de hoy nos encontramos en Linguaviva, una escuela con una excelente ubicación aquí en el centro de Dublín. Y el de hoy estamos con Ana, que es la directora en Mercadotecnia. Vamos a hacer unas pequeñas preguntas. How are you today?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Okay, good.
Good.
Okay, tell me, what is your role in the school?
Oh, that's a very good question. I have a role that starts from enrollments and it goes into social media. It has to do with digital marketing, so a little bit of everything.
Okay. What is the most valuable fact in Linguaviva as a school?
So Linguaviva has been an English language school since 1977. Okay, so at this moment we're the oldest school in Dublin. The focus has always been on our students and the fact that we do not want our students to ever feel like a number and not a person. Okay? So the main focus is on keeping our students as part of a family, having a relationship with them, and just being open to that.
Okay. What is the mix of nationalities?
We have a very good mix of nationalities. I don't have the exact figures, but I can obviously give them to you and you can maybe post them on the video itself. So we would have, the mornings are different from the afternoons. The morning nationality mix is much better, it's much more varied. Whereas the PM students are more focused on the Brazilian and the Turkish markets. So that's students who are working here as well as studying. But in the morning we have those short-term students as well, so exam preparations and all that. So I would say we would have an average of Brazilian, Turkish, Japanese, Chinese. We have students from Russia, we have students from Ukraine, we have students from Spain, France, Italy. Those are the normal markets for us.
Mix.
Yeah, very good mix.
That's good. And what is the process for a student when they arrive to Linguaviva?
Well, the first day. Okay, so when they arrive, we have an orientation, and our orientation session is done by the actual director of the school, Ian Brangan. So we meet here, students get to meet each other, all in the cafeteria, yes, every morning on Mondays. And so the session is about giving them all the information we can in that short amount of time, giving them the academic information, telling them what their process is going to be in class, how their progress is going to be gauged and followed, and what help we can give them and all that stuff. As well as practical information, how to get your LEAP card, how to open bank accounts and things like that. So it depends on the type of student. So if you have a long-term student, the information needs to be a little bit different. But then for the short-term student, it's more about activities, more about things you can do outside the classroom as well. So it's a mix of information.
How does the student know their English level? Do they do an exam or what?
Yes, they do a placement test online before they arrive. Once they do the placement test, our Director of Studies, Stuart, contacts them and has an interview with them via Zoom. So they do the speaking part of the test online as well. So by the time they are in here, we know exactly where they're going.
In that test, it's how many days before that they arrive?
It's usually, the speaking test happens the week before they arrive, because we don't want to let too much time pass between their test and when they get here, because English can improve and all that.
How do they measure the process and the growth of the student during the course?
Yeah, well, it's very important. That's a very, very important part of the Linguaviva Center. So what happens is initially the students start at a level after the placement test and all the speaking stuff. What happens is we always tell the student that their first point of contact is their teacher. So students take a weekly progress test every Friday or Thursday if they're afternoon students. So what happens is we gauge their progress based on those, as well as the feedback we get from the teacher. Now, different students have different levels of progress as well. Some progress quicker, others don't progress as fast. So what happens is, if we see that a student is having issues in the class or maybe needs a bit more support, some extra work, every Friday our director of studies and our academic director also have tutorials for the students.
Okay.
So they have one-to-one or very small group attention for the students who need support and need to get that extra work and maybe focus on something specific. The good thing with that is that we never keep a student at one level for too long. Okay, so we say that 12 weeks is really the max you should be at any level, but we encourage, moving about 8-9 weeks in to start gauging what their progress is. So yeah, we're always on top of that.
How many levels do the student advance in the study and work course? In just one course?
Yeah, so 25 weeks it should be 2 levels.
Okay, that's
Ideally.
maximum. Yeah, ideally.
There are students who are exceptional and they can go 3, but it also depends on what the student is willing to do.
What are the students' favorite social program at Linguaviva?
I think the most popular ones are the ones that we organize here.
Okay.
I mean, yes, everyone loves to go to the Guinness Storehouse and people go to, the Ginny John's, I mean, just the typical epic museums, national museums. But I think the ones that we have here, for example, we had a speed dating activity during Valentine's Day. So it was all here and it was like a quick 3-minute chat with a student and then we had to switch partner. Yes. And
okay, like a date.
Yes, it was like, it was a friendship date. They weren't trying to encourage dates or anything. But yeah, I think that those are very popular because it's in-house, it's us, and it has that personal touch.
What advice would you give to the student who have not yet made the decision to live this experience, to a student with Linguaviva?
Very good. It's an excellent question. I mean, Dublin is, I think, a perfectly located and a perfectly adapt city to start something like an exchange. It's not too big, it isn't too small, there is a lot to do. The population is quite multicultural, so that there is that part as well. You don't feel like, oh my god, there is no one else like me around and things like that. So I definitely think it's a very worthy experience because of the vicinity to European countries. It allows you to travel. It's one of the only countries that allows you to have a part-time job if you are also studying at the same time. The community is very strong, and Linguaviva Center, we are a support, and our students, when they leave us, they never actually leave us. I mean, they're always in contact, we're always hearing from them, and the happy birthdays and everything kind of carries on. So I would say definitely do it because it is, you'll never forget the experience. It is definitely a valuable experience.
What made you fall in love with Irish culture?
Okay. It's a good one. The people of Ireland made me fall in love with Irish culture. It has been, my ex-husband was Irish as well, so my kids are half Irish, so that played a part as well. I just think that they're a very friendly nation, very friendly people, and I just love their sense of humor and the way, historically they've had difficult times and how they've overcome them and all that, so yeah.
What is the most surprising anecdote that you remember with either the group or student? Something like make you happy or emotional about a student?
Okay. I think that we have some amazing students right now in the building. And what I love most seeing is when old students welcome new students and how easily the new student becomes part of the community. We have a few students, I don't know if you've experienced this, but like we call them like the glue of the school, of the people of the class, because they kind of stick people together. I don't know how they do it. So recently, this is very recent, this is like last week, a group of students decided that they wanted to go to the Glendalough Lakes together. And they came to me, to the office, and asked myself and Caroline to help them get the transport, basically, to get the bus to go there. So we got them some quotes for private bus, and then we got them, the tour operators who go to Glendalough as well, to find the most convenient way for them to travel. And the fact that one specific, well, three guys, but a Turkish guy, his name is Ali, he's in the building, who went around and collected the money from all the students and put everything together and decided where people were going to meet, you know, alongside his friends, obviously, who were helping him. And you know, he doesn't have an advanced level of English, and it's not about that, you know what I mean? So they ended up, we were shocked and surprised about the whole organization and approach to it, you know, and he was like, no, we're going to be 15, this is what's going to happen. Then they tried to get 19, but they couldn't. So at the end, 15 students out of their own kind of initiative went, and it was a very, very stormy, rainy day, and it wasn't the best, but they had so much fun. Yes, exactly. And like when I saw the pictures later on of them in the pub having a drink after their, you know, and the evening pictures of them, you know, having gotten off the bus and everything, that's exactly what we're all about. You know, it really was, and it was like the most, multinational, multicultural experience, and led by people who don't necessarily have, you know, the best level of English, because that's not what it's about.
But he's here, and I think he felt like
yes, and they wanted to do that experience together, and I thought that was just amazing that all those people could come together.
Good one.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So that's it. Thank you, Anna. Thank you.
Very well.